Hello, my name is Jeff Lawrence. I'm pastor of Sand Ridge Baptist Church in Hawkinsville, Georgia, and I am the moderator of the Georgia Union Missionary Baptist Association. And every year during the month of February, we celebrate Black History Month as an association and as a grouping of churches. This year, however, with the pandemic, we have not been able to come together and celebrate in our usual Black History Month program. And so this year, we decided that we would bring to you a grouping of young people talking about why is Black history important. And so we have invited young people from throughout our community, our member churches, the churches in our area, to come together. And we want to thank Pastor Gary Lucas for his fine efforts in bringing this video presentation to you. And we just want you to sit back and enjoy what our young people have to say about Black history in our community. Why is Black history important? Listen to our young people and listen to what they have to say.
How fast two dreams for if dreams die. Life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly.
Harriet Tubman escaped slavery to become a leading abolitionist. She led hundreds of enslaved people to freedom along the route of the Underground Railroad.
Moderator Pastor Lawrence, to our Vice Moderator Pastor Cobbs, to their cabinet, and to all of my father's children, good morning. My name is Jacayla Watson. I'm a member of Sandwich Baptist Church. My pastor is Dr. Jeff. Why is Black history important? Black history gives me a written picture of the past, the how and the why our people ended up in the United States. They were brought here to work as slaves. The slave story is only the beginning of the story. When I listen to the stories told by my family, I can see how things used to be and how things have not changed. There have been many improvements for Black people as a whole. There are many things that still need to be changed. Each generation needs more to move forward, even if it seems very slow. My great-grandma Marguerite talks about working in the fields and how hard the work was. She talks about outdoor toilets and getting water out of a well and building fires in a fireplace. My grandma Rose talks about the first time she went to the field and knew it was not the life for her. Because my great-grandma worked in the fields, my grandma Rose only had a taste of that lifestyle. My grandma Rose's first real job was babysitting little white children for $20 a week. My mom talks about the first time she saw a cotton field on a moonlit night. She thought it was so pretty and white, she thought it lit up the night. My mom's first real job was working at McDonald's. Black history is not just the things we read about in the books that are available. Our history is and continues to be a story about our people who have survived the tragic start in the New World. Reading Black history stories and listening to our own family generation, we are encouraged to keep moving forward. It is hard to say I can't when you read the stories of our forefather struggles. Their struggles was real and so is ours. We have to keep moving forward. I am the fifth generation of my family out of slavery. I am the daughter of Shamika Nicole Adams on my mother's side of the family. I am the great-granddaughter of Annie Rose Holmes Adams. I am the great-granddaughter of Margaret Leith Holmes. I am the great-great-granddaughter of Hannah Battle. I am the great-great-great-great-granddaughter of Alice Caldwell Battle. I am the great-great-great-great-granddaughter of Neil Ann Caldwell, who died in slavery. My great-great-great-granddaughter, Grandma Alice, was one of the oldest living slaves in Pulaski County in the 1930s. As I said earlier, I am the fifth generation of my family out of slavery. Why is Black history important to me? It is because of Black history. I now know who I am.
Black history means to me a chance to reflect and look ahead. It is about the struggle as race that our extendatory face. Every year later we have come a long way, but we still need to make progress. I say thank you.
My name is Maya Brown, and I am a member of Anderson Gift Baptist Church. The topic is why is Black history important? Why? The curse of the reason of something is sing of B. Black, dark-skinned person. History. It tell or explain an event of the past. True, it tell us about the struggle of our people, artist slash builder, writer, poet, inventor, actor, the good and bad. Important. Of great significance or value likely to have a profound effectively on success, survival, or well-being. Black history is important because it tells how our people lived and died.
In America, it doesn't matter where you came from, it matters where you are going.
Hi, my name is Holly Ferguson. I am 8 years old. I am representing Mount Air Baptist Church. I am here to tell you why Black history is important. It is important because it is a way of remembering important Black people and events in our history. Carter G. Woodson organized National Negro History Week to promote and celebrate the achievements of Black Americans, which has grown into today's Black History Month. February is Black History Month, a day, a time the country highlights and celebrates the accomplishments of Black Americans. The fact that Black history is a part of American history is important for all Americans to know, learn about, and understand. Few will argue that Kamala Harris' recent swearing in as Vice President of the United States will be remembered as an important moment in American history. However, many Americans of color, especially Black Americans, have all too often been left out of the history books. Learning about Black history also teaches me to be thankful and grateful for the opportunities that I have being a Black girl in today's America. It also encourages me to hold myself to a high standard and not settle for anything less than my best. So many of our people, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., fought extremely hard so that we as a race can have the rights that we do today. Remembering the challenges Black people once faced reminds me of God's grace and how far He has brought us. So this is where Black history is important to me. Thank you.
Black history is important for me and for you. It's so much to learn I never knew. From riding on the bus to eating where we please to helping fight for our country overseas. Martin Luther King's life did not last, but his dream and spirit are loose free at last. Now is the time today to learn and be proud of how our ancestors paved the way. Black History Month. It's our time. It was Michelle Obama who said history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take a life of its own.
Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. George Washington Carver.
Black history is important to me because it teaches me to dream like Martin, lead like Harriet, fight like Eileen, and build like Madam C.J.
Who am I? When someone asks me who I am, I tell them, I am the great mind that was taken from the motherland. I am the one that survived the Middle Passage. I am the one that built a nation with blood, sweat, and tears. I am the visionary that built and invented things that changed modern America. I am Claflin, South Carolina State, Benedict, Allen, Howard, Clark, Spelman, Morehouse, Bethune-Cookman, Tuskegee, Payne, and other historically black colleges or universities that taught young people that they are great. I am the Divine Nine. I am the Harlem Renaissance. I am jazz, soul, blues, gospel, and hip hop. I am the sharecropper, the maid, and the nanny. I am the farmer, the seamstress, the factory worker, and the teacher. I am the midwife, the doctor, and the nurse. I am the strange fruit that hung from southern trees. I am the marcher, the freedom rider, and the children that died in Birmingham. I am the civil rights movement. I am the future that Martin dreamed about. I am the hope and change that Obama spoke of. I am strong. I am great. I am blessed. I am a child of God. I am Black America. That's what I want.
I said, oh, do you know the man? I said, oh, do you know the man from Galilee? Oh, he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. I said, oh, do you know the man? I said, oh, do you know the man from Galilee? Oh, he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. I said, the man is a mighty good doctor. I said, a man is a mighty good doctor from Galilee. Oh, he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. I said, do you know the man? I said, do you know the man from Galilee? Oh, he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. I said, the man is a mighty good doctor. I said, the man is a mighty good doctor from Galilee. Oh, he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. I said, oh, do you know the man? I said, oh, do you know the man from Galilee? Oh, he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. That's good.
Why is Black History important? February is Black History Month, a time that our country highlights and celebrates the accomplishments of Black Americans. And the fact that Black history is part of American history is important for all Americans to understand, learn about, and know. A time to reflect on the history of Black Americans and honor the individuals and groups who have worked tirelessly toward racial justice. Black history is a time of rejoicing, celebrating, and thanking those African Americans for giving us hope or a life lesson that could be used.
Black history isn't just about all the bad times we've been through. It's about integrity, leadership, and determination. Black history is important by looking at the past that has charted the way for our future. The United States may have been founded on the principles of freedom and democracy, but we can't ignore the darker chapters in our story. Black History Month is more than a celebration of the many accomplishments made by African Americans. It's a reminder of where we, as a country, have been and where we hope to go. Right now, there's a lot of anger in America. People are divided by political, religious, and even racial lines. Yet God has commanded us to put aside our prejudice and look on one another with his eyes. We are all the sons and daughters of God and in Christ. We are a family. Galatians 3:28. So let us celebrate Black History Month by remembering what so many of our brothers and sisters have fought for and worked together to build a better future. February the 1st marks the beginning of Black History Month. Each year, Americans set aside a few months to focus on their historical hindsight on the contributors that people of African descent have made to this country. While not everyone agrees, Black History Month is a good thing, and there are several reasons why I think it's appropriate to celebrate this occasion. The history of Black History Month. First, let's briefly advent of Black History Month, also called African American History Month. This event originally began Negro History Week in 1926. It took place during the second week of February because it coincided with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. In 1976, of the United States, President Gerald R. Ford expanded this week into a full month. He said the country needs to seize the opportunities to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in each area throughout history. Black History Month has been the subject of criticism from both Blacks and people of other races. Some argue it's unfair to devote an entire month to a single people group. Others contend that we should celebrate Black history throughout the year. Setting aside only 1 month, they say, gives people license to neglect the past for the other 11 months. Despite the objectives, though I believe some people can come from devoting a season to remembering people who have principles, deposits into the account of nation's history, here are 5 reasons why we should continue to celebrate Black History Month. 1. Celebrating honors the historic leaders of the Black community. Heroes like Rosa Parks and Frederick Douglass, and so much more, deserves to be honored for the sacrifice and suffering they endured for the sake of racial equality. Celebrating Black History Month allows us to pause and remember their stories, so we can commemorate their achievements. 2. Celebrating helps us to be better stewards in the privilege we've gained. To what would surely be the lemonade of many historic African American leaders, we take for granted the rights that any people before them sweated, bled, and died to secure. Apart from an awareness of the past, we can never appreciate the blessings we enjoy in this present. 3. Celebrating provides an opportunity to highlight the best of Black history and culture. All too often, only the most negative aspects of African American cultures and communities get highlighted. We hear about the poverty rates, incarceration rates, and high school dropout rates. We are inundated with images of unruly athletes and reality TV stars and of success of Black people. And we are daily subject to unfair stereotypes and assumptions from a culture that is, in some aspects, still learning to accept us. Black History Month provides the chance to focus on different aspects of our narrative of African Americans. We can applaud Madam C.J. Walker as the first self-made female millionaire in the U.S. We can let our eyes flip across the verse of poetry. The first African American poet and woman published the book, Phyllis Whitley, and we can group to soulful jazz and summer blues music composed by the likes of Miles Davis and Robert Johnson. Black History Month can spur us to seek out and lift up the best in African American accomplishments. 4. Celebrating creates awareness for all people. Unfortunately, it seems that apart from international efforts otherwise, Black history is often lost in the midst of times. When we observe Black History Month, we give all citizens in all races the opportunity to learn about the past of the people of which they may have little awareness. 5. Celebrating reminds us all that Black history is our history. It pains me to see people overlooking Black History Month because Black history belongs to all of us, blacks and whites, men and women, young and old. The impact African Americans have made on this country is part of collective consciousness. Complying Black history draws of every race into the grand and diverse story of this nation. As a believer, I see racial and ethnic diversity as an expression of God's manifold beauty. No single race or its culture can comprehensively display the infinite glory of God's image. So he gave us our differences to help us appreciate the splendid from various perspectives. God's coming and special grace even works themselves out to provide movement of a particular race, culture, and history. We can look back on the brightest and darkest moments of our past to see God's work. He's weaving a tapestry of events that climate in our life, death and resurrections of Jesus Christ. And one day, Christ will return, and on that day, we will look back at history, not just as a single race, but of people from every nation, tribe, and tongue, and see that our Creator has a plan all along. He is writing the story that points to the glory, and in creation, His people won't have a month set aside to remember His greatness. We'll have all eternity. Every time this time of year comes around, we ask ourselves, why is Black history important? Well, I'm here to tell you, 1 month shouldn't define Black history because Black history happens every day, and that's why it will forever be important. The Black History Month 2021 theme is Black Families, Representation, Identity, and Diversity. It explores the African diaspora and the spread of Black families across the United States. In honor of Black History Month, we remember and celebrate the powerful work of God in and through the lives of African Americans, from enslaved Christians and abolitionists, through the Jim Crow era to civil rights figures. The believers are leaders, and the church powerfully impacted society. Black History Month isn't simply about ethnic diversity in general, but remembering the horrors of our shared history and celebrating the progress that has been made. In God's coming kindness, and specifically the many success of Black Americans despite such a history. This month should help us understand people made in God's image. Black History Month, this month, is seen as a celebration of those who impacted not just the country, but the world with their activism and achievement. In the U.S., the month-long spotlight during February is an opportunity for people to engage with Black history, go beyond discussions of racism and slavery, and highlight Black leaders and accomplishments, and acknowledge God's goodness and works and remarkable achievements.
Thank you for viewing our GUMBA Black History program. On behalf of Moderator Dr. Jeffrey Lawrence, Vice Moderator Reverend Choice Cobb, we're glad that you viewed our program. Again, we thank our parents and guardians of the young people who participated. And again, we want to thank our guest speaker, Akila Howard of Wilcox County. Again, we celebrate Black history.